Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today I've decided to just do an intro for my video. I've never done a one-on-one intro with you. I normally do it on voiceovers, so today I just decided to do an intro for you. In today's video I want to batch cook. It's my first time to do a lot of foods in one video, batch cooking for the entire week. My aim is to cook meals for 10 days or even not more than 10 days, actually 10. If they have to go more, they have to be up to 14 days. I don't want to have my foods overstay in the fridge. So we'll be cooking variety of meals, variety of recipes. Stick around. I hope you get to watch the video up to the end. While at it, if it is your first time and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the video. It's for free. It doesn't cost anything. Turn on the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you are notified that I have a video. Here we do homemaking videos. We do recipes here and there, basically motivational videos, cleaning motivational videos. So that if that is the kind of content you love, please subscribe. I hope you get to enjoy this video. Give it a thumbs up, share widely if you are able to share it. So let's get into the video and enjoy it. Actually boiling some kienyeji chicken. Yeah, free range chicken. It's here in my earthen pot and I'm using the jiko. I love this slow cooking. It's so good. So let me cover it and make this corn for githeri. After prepping all those cereals, I had to wait for like 16 hours. Now we have to start the cooking process. So I'll be making mandazi first. Breakfast is always a struggle for me and I want to stop waking up so early to make breakfast. So I'll be doing mandazi, a lot of mandazi. Actually, I'm doing the whole pack. So I'm using this X Mandazi fortified flour. This flour is so good when it comes to mandazi. It gives out good mandazis and you just have to knead it nicely so that you can get the smooth and nice mandazis that you require. So I'm going to use milk in this recipe, a little bit of lemon zest just to extend the shelf life, because I'm intending to put them in the fridge. I don't know how long we are going to take to consume them, so I'm just putting the lemon zest just to extend also the shelf life. So I'm using some milk. That milk I've diluted with a little bit of water. I'm using 2 eggs. I'll be using that margarine over there, just a spoon of it, but I'll be melting it and then I'll knead the dough for like 8 minutes just to get the good results that I want from my mandazi. Let it sit for 30 minutes and then I'll be making the mandazi. After 30 minutes, I'm going to roll out the dough. I'm going to section it first, and then I'm going to make some balls, then roll out, cut into the shapes that I want, and then I'll be frying them in some oil. Before I can continue with the meal prepping, so I'm going to make dinner first before I can continue. I want to make some mushroom and chicken. I love that combination. In goes my onions in the oil, that is the white, red, and spring onions. I've mixed them together. I'm going to let them get a golden color on them. Then I'll be introducing in the mushrooms. I love mushrooms. I'm not going to slice them. I just want them to be whole so that they can just release the juices slowly into the chicken. The chicken that I'm going to use is the free range chicken that I had slow cooked for 4 hours until it's able to fall off the bone. Free range chicken is so good, and it has a very nice flavor, and I love combining free range chicken with mushrooms. They really go well. So I'm going to mix this mushroom well until they get a char touch on them before I can put in the chicken. I love this combination. It's so good. Never say that mushrooms are not good. You just have to know how to prepare them the right way. I'm going to sprinkle some salt for flavors. I want this dish to be as natural as possible. I'm not going to use any spices in it. So after it has gotten the char touch on it, I'm going to put in now the chicken, mix it well, and then I'm going to add in the broth that I had boiled with the chicken. That is the only thing that I'm using there, and I'm going to add a drop of also some lemon to give it some tangy flavor as well. I wasn't able to continue filming last night, so I started this morning with the cooking. I woke up so early to boil all the legumes, that is the lentils, the green grams, everything. In the pressure cooker, it's some chickpeas, so I decided to transfer it from here to the gas cooker. And this is some meat. It's some it's githeri. It's githeri that I'm cooking in the pot. And also I have some oxtail over here that I'm going to slow cook as well. So let's continue with the cooking process. I'm done cooking all the legumes and they all have cooled down, so I'm going to store them in the fridge, and I'm going to use Ziploc bags. Let me tell you why I'm using Ziploc bags. Ziploc bags tend to save a lot of space when it comes to storing anything in the fridge. That is why I prefer using a Ziploc bag. I had soaked these peanuts for 30 minutes, drained the water, sprinkled some salt on them, and then I used the microwave. I never wanted to use a pan. I actually wanted to try using a microwave for the first time, and trust me, the microwave works better than any other thing. I set a timer of 8 minutes, and that was it. And the peanuts were roasted, and they really look so good. I'm going to use this method more often. I'm cooking some beef for pilau. I want to make pilau as well. I have soaked some rice, and you can see these are bags. Normally there are bags in any packed rice. Don't be fooled. Always soak your rice. Always wash your rice. Don't just pour rice inside your water that you want to cook your rice, or you want to make pilau and you're going to cook the rice directly. Just soak your rice, just wash your rice, because even soaking rice always gets rid of the excess starch. You know, when there's excess starch in your rice, the rice tends to stick together and it cannot bring out good pilau. So I love soaking my rice. I'm using basmati rice, sun rice. It's so good for pilau. That is what I normally use. And since I'm batch cooking, I wanted to include pilau because pilau comes in handy when you even have visitors. So that is why I also made pilau. So I'm going to soak it first for 30 minutes and then drain the water, wash it like 3 times before I can use it in making my pilau. This is the oxtail that I was cooking. I slow cooked it for a while and it's done. Actually, it's so done. So I want to fry it. Already I have my pan over here. I want to pour in some oil. I love curry powder. It's one of my favorite spices to use in all my meats, and also some turmeric, but today I'm not using any turmeric. I'm only using the curry powder and I'm infusing it in oil, and then I'll be adding a little bit of some onions. The rest of the onion I'm leaving for pilau. So I'm adding some onions and also some minced garlic, just a little bit, not too much. I love mincing my garlic. It makes things easier. So I'll stir it until it's a bit golden brown before I can put the rest of the ingredients. With this recipe, I'm not doing much with it, so I'm using some tomato puree. I have tomatoes, but I want to use only the puree today. The tomato paste, not puree, tomato paste. I want it to be well combined. I just want some good taste with this oxtail. I have so many ways of making oxtail. I have a video of meal prep that I did before that has an oxtail, but I did bake that and it was so good. Even this one is also good. It depends with the time you have at hand to make the oxtail. So I'll use this one. I slow cooked this oxtail for a while. It's a bit tender. So I'm going to put it in here. Have you ever had some oxtail? Oxtail is so good. There is a difference between oxtail and the real meat. Like every part of the cow has its own flavors. That is my take. Like the fillet is so tender and has very good flavors. It cooks so fast. So I'm going to introduce in the little broth that we have here, but I'll also add a little bit of some water. These are bones. Those bones are so tender and juicy, but I'm not putting them inside, so I'll give it a good mix and also add in a little bit of also some water. We need some broth in this meat so as to get all the flavors. So I'm going to mix it well. I love my broth to have some colors, but I'm only going to let it just be like this because this meat is slow cooked and had lots of onions in it, so it got good flavors. Given that I've balanced with also some salt, it's so good. So I'm adding a mixture of water and cornstarch, just a little bit. I'm not doing much of the cornstarch, just to thicken up the broth. You don't want running broth in your meals. Yep. So I love coconut cream, and definitely with this oxtail today I'm going in with some coconut cream. I've used the Cara coconut cream. It's so good, I'm telling you. I know there are people who don't like coconut cream in their foods, but if you don't like that, you can use 1 spoon of cornstarch with some water, then add in that mixture into your broth. It will thicken and still retain the flavors. If you go extreme with your cornstarch, if you use a lot of cornstarch, it will alter the flavors of whatever you are making. So just go easy with the cornstarch. So I'm going to mix this well, bring it to a boil. I'm going to throw in a mixture of tarragon, dried sage, which is wrapped, and also some thyme into it. When it comes to dry herbs, note that some are just strong when it comes to meats. Like I don't like using a lot of rosemary in my stews because I feel like it's too strong and doesn't go well with stews. Just if you have to use rosemary, just use it in stir fries, or maybe when you're doing chomas, you can just do that with the rosemary. But as for stews, I prefer using tarragon. Has good flavors. Yes, I love it fresh, but since it's not much available, I try to get it and dry it. So I've used tarragon, I've used sage, and I've used also thyme. Yeah, they really give good flavors, and I'll just let it come to a boil. Already I had cooked this oxtail with the salt as I had said, so I'll just let it come to a boil. Guys, this is how I stored my coriander like four days ago. See, I stored it with the roots and everything in it. I did not wash it, and see how fresh it is. It has really maintained the freshness. I'll just remove a few bunch just to garnish my meat. and I'll still cover it the way it is. It's going to stay like this for a while before it goes bad, and by the time it thinks of going bad, I'll be done with it. So I'll garnish this stew with spring onions and some coriander leaves. I'm telling you, the spring onions always give good flavors to any meat of your choice, and this looks so delicious. I'm telling you, you can never skip such kind of stew. So I'll let it cool down and then I'll pack it. I have a lot of pilau recipes in my channel, but pilau is just simple and straightforward. What I'll do, I'll be adding onions into my oil. I want a lot of onions in my pilau. I could have used the ginger. Ginger goes well with pilau because this meal involves even kids. I don't want my pilau to be spicy, not anywhere near spiciness. So I'm adding some onions, some minced garlic into my oil. I'm going to brown them, the onions. I'm not going to burn them. You don't have to burn your onions in order to get a good or dark pilau. Pilau, so long as it turns color, that is good to go. So I'll be adding onions. I'll let them darken a little bit before I can introduce in some other ingredient. Here I have a mixture of cumin seeds, fenugreek, no, these are cumin seeds. I have also some cinnamon, whole cinnamon. I have cardamom pods that I've removed the outer cover, and also some cloves. I've soaked them for some time, so I'm going to add them into my mixture of onion. I love including all spices in the mixture of my pilau. Then I'm going to add in now the pilau, the ground one, like 2 spoons. Then stir it. Add in the meat. And then the rice. The soaked rice, I've washed it like 3 times. After the water that I soaked with it, I drained it, then did run it on water for like 3 times. So we're going to add it in, then give it a good mix. Add in some salt because I had not added any salt. Trust me, the masala that I did add here is enough to give the pilau a dark color, as you can see. So I'm going to use the bone broth that I used in boiling the meat. This is what we have, and this is the only thing that I'm using. I'm not adding any water. But if you feel like your broth is not enough, you can go ahead and add in a little bit of water. But as for me, these days I prefer only the broth because I feel like it really gives the pilau amazing flavors. So I'll give it a good mix, and then I'll just let it boil a little bit of bubbling. Then I'll lower the heat, cover it, and let it just simmer on its own. As for now, I'll just let it boil just a little bit, and then we can cover it. For extra flavors, I'll bury in a whole onion in it just to simmer along. I could have put in both sides here, but I don't have so much onion, so I'll bury it like that. And then also some spring onion stalks as well. They also have their own flavors, so I'll just mix like this to spread them evenly. Then we'll just let this rice cook before I can cover it. This is as per my preference, so at times I tend to add butter in my pilau, so I'll just spread it on top of the pilau, and then I'll cover now with the foil. Nicely cooked and separates. You don't have to add water. If you add water, you're going to make your pilau soggy. I've sealed the edges so that no moisture escapes from inside, so that the moisture can help in cooking the pilau just slowly until it's nicely done. Nothing beats a good pilau. Like, pilau is just a Kenyan thing. People love pilau, and I love good pilau. I love it when it separates nicely, as you can see. See that? In order to save me the time of waking up, I decided to just include even breakfast in this meal prep. My kids love pancakes so much, so I decided to also include pancakes in this meal prep. And my ingredients are some milk, some sugar, self-rising flour, 2 eggs, melted butter, vanilla essence mixed with strawberry. Those flavors are just amazing. That is what I'm going to use in making these pancakes. And when it comes to cooking my pancakes, I never use any oil. I just put my pan on the gas, lower the heat, and that is what I deal with. That is the heat that I deal with to make my pancakes until I am done. Let me give you a short story as we make these pancakes, and I hope I don't get to bore you. I never intended to start a YouTube channel, but I always loved cooking. Like, cooking has been my passion for so many years. Like whenever I'm bored and depressed, I'll go to the kitchen, just fix recipes here and there, and I just come up with something, and that is how I end up making all my recipes. And sometimes I come across people's recipes and I just twist the recipe and I just turn the recipe to be mine. And I love cooking. Cooking has been a passion. Cooking is like therapy. Cooking is everything. I've also met amazing creators in this YouTube space. They've come to be friends, they've come to be advisors, people who encourage me and tell me that you are doing an amazing job. She is also an amazing creator. She is an amazing homemaker. She cooks good meals for her family. She has good videos when it comes to cleaning, motivation and tips on how to keep your home clean. If you would love to have such content and watch such motivational content, please check her out. She's an amazing YouTuber. Her name is Carol Gidinji. You will love it there. Please consider subscribing to her channel. Show her some love. Don't just visit mine as subscribing. Show that lady some love. I would really appreciate if you did that on my behalf. So we'll continue making our pancakes. I don't use oil in my pancakes, as I said. I find it easy making pancakes minus oil, and they are so amazing. Look at the outcome. Perfect. This will go a long way before I think of making other snacks or maybe other breakfast. I also included greens in my meal prep, and I decided to go with spinach and also with some kales. I decided to saute the greens with just oil and salt and let them cook a little bit, but I'll maintain the green color. I don't like mixing two greens together. I decided to do the spinach separately and the kale separately. With the spinach, I did add a little bit of natural yogurt just for some tanginess in them, and this was enough. This is going to last us a while. I figured out this kind of greens come in handy when you want to make ugali. I can never get enough of plantains, and when it comes to breakfast, I love plantains, and plantains comes in handy when we want to have breakfast brunch. So I'll be also making some plantains. This time I'm going to bake them. I'm not going to fry them. I'm going to cut them. They are so firm. In as much as the cover looks dark, trust me, they are so firm and very fresh still in the inside. So I'll chop them thinly, then sprinkle some salt, put them in the oven, bake them until they are a little bit of brown, and then I'll be storing them as well. Know how I mix my chapatis, so I've actually applied some oil. I just want to now roll them out and then make them with some oil on my pan. Already my pan is heating over here. I will definitely dry them first before I can cook them with some oil. Drying them first actually makes my work easier, so I'm not going to trouble myself cooking them directly. Let it dry. I don't know how you make your chapatis, but I find this way actually so easier for me because it saves my time and energy. And sometimes I don't like the pressure of making chapati while rushing to do oil to roll out. So I rather dry them first before I can actually. I want to make some coffee cake, just a small cake. I'm going to use some 3 eggs. I'm using melted butter. That is a mixture of coffee and cocoa in some little bit of water. I'm using self-rising flour, so that is what I'm going to make, just also for snacks, for breakfast, or maybe for the kids to carry to school. The combination of butter and coffee is just amazing. The way that cake crumbles down is just amazing. You can have this with lemon tea. It can never disappoint. I decided to cut through it in as much as it was hot. Spread the pieces so that they can cool down for me to be able to store them. I decided to include this in the meal prep because it can come in handy for breakfast as well. And also, I hope you got to get the ideas of cooking meals for a whole week, or maybe 7 days to 14 days, that can save up some time for you and also make work easier for you in the kitchen, and also how to store your foods in the fridge to save up some space. I appreciate each and every one of you that keeps coming back to my channel. Those who are here and you're loving this content, please subscribe if you haven't. Give the video a thumbs up and share it widely. Until my next video, bye guys.